Welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Today is October 24th. It's a Wednesday, middle of the week already. Where has October gone? Hey, where has the year gone? It's moved by so quickly. I'm telling you. Well, we have a full program for you today. First of all, we'll be hearing from TASHA Logan. Tell us about that.
TASHA Logan is the Assistant City Manager for the City of Goldsboro. She's been with the city for a long time, and she's going to explain the job of Assistant City Manager, what the responsibilities are and how involved they are in the community.
All right.
Coming up soon.
Coming up soon.
That's right.
The election.
Well, Wayne, who's the next one we're going to hear from today?
Well, you know, I think TASHA Logan is our next candidate to be heard from. No, she's not running for office, but we're going to hear from TASHA Logan up next. And she is the Assistant City Manager.
That's right. It's a big job.
It is a big job. Of course, she's always done a great job as an Assistant City Manager. Very smart person.
Well,
and you talked with her, right?
I did. I talked with her earlier this week, so let's hear what she's got to say. Hi, and welcome to WGTV Today. I'm Kim Best, your host, dedicated to bringing you news and information about the city of Goldsboro. With me today is Assistant City Manager TASHA Logan. Hi, Tasha.
Hi, Kim. How are you doing?
I am great.
Good, good.
So you're going to fill us in on some general information of the position of Assistant City Manager.
Exactly. I can remember when I was here in Goldsboro in the late 90s. That was the first time that I actually spent some time here in Goldsboro. And there was a period of time where we had two assistant managers that worked for the city. Yes, we did. Did they each have different job descriptions or different things they oversaw, I would assume? They did. They weren't specifically focused on departments like we have the assistant manager now, but most of the time assistant managers were focused on projects instead of actually managing staff. When things came into the city manager's office, they would be assigned to one of the assistant managers that were there. We also, believe it or not, we had at one time 3 clerks that worked in the city manager's office.
Oh my goodness.
When I was there, during the summers, there were 2. So we had 2 clerks, we had 2 assistant managers that were dividing their time between projects at the time.
Wow, so how through the years did it condense into 1 clerk, a deputy clerk, and 1 assistant manager? How did all that happen?
You know, I think as time changes, with the use of computers and technology, I think a lot of our systems were streamlined. When I came in, I can remember having to ask Laura Ray, was our clerk at that time, and how to turn on her big IBM typewriter was a challenge for me when I first came in. But as we began to use computers, we didn't have a voicemail system throughout the city at that time, so you really relied on your manual labor of answering the phone, taking those messages, which is, I think, of how we kind of transitioned from having 3 clerks to just the 2 that we have now. With the assistant managers, we had the 2 gentlemen that were there moved on to some other responsibilities. And then that role was typically filled by someone that was an administrative assistant that would come to the manager's office. And then from there, they would make a determination as to what the next step would be.
So what year was it that you came, so we can sort of get our mind wrapped around when this big IBM computer was sitting there?
The big IBM computer was sitting there in 96, 97, during that time frame. When I actually came back to the city of Goldsboro to work full-time, I came back in an administrative role, administrative assistant to the manager, and that was in 2004. Okay. 2004.
So you transitioned from administrative assistant to assistant city manager?
I did. In 2005, we made some staffing changes, and at that time, the position that I was in was reclassified to assistant manager. Okay. We did quite a bit of restructuring at that time, where I was no longer responsible for just projects that came into the manager's office, but I was responsible for then supervising departments. When I worked as the administrative assistant, it was just code enforcement was the only area that I was responsible for during that time. So in 2005, we did some changes.
Sounds like it.
Became the assistant manager, and I took over 5 divisions at that time.
I was going to say, you've got quite a few divisions under your belt that you supervise on a daily basis.
I do, but I really have the best directors. I tell you, the city of Goldsboro has hardworking staff, and the 5 directors that I manage are really compassionate. They care about the city of Goldsboro. They care about the services that they provide to our citizens. And I'm really proud to be able to serve with those and lead with those individuals.
That's great. Well, so you've told us a brief description of what the city manager or assistant city manager does overall. On a day-to-day basis, Tasha, what would you say you spend the majority of your time doing as assistant city manager?
You're always managing projects and processes through the city. When individuals call in, they may have a question about where they need to start, what is the right department that they need to go to get started, and a lot of those questions do come in the manager's office. If there are larger issues that we're working on, our partnerships with other governments in the area, partnerships that we may have with some of our businesses and local institutions, clearly the relationships that we have with Seymour Johnson Air Force Base and making sure that we have a presence in their activities is critical in the manager's office. But on a day-to-day basis, we also just make sure that things are functioning properly.
Right.
We have council meetings twice a month, so making sure that those agenda items are getting in, that the business of the city is flowing, making sure that trash is being picked up every day and coordinating that through our public works department. That's what we do every day.
A lot of coordinating.
It's a lot of coordinating at this level. But for my area specifically, I have the Paramount Theater, I have downtown development, I have community affairs, travel and tourism, which is located at the Chamber, has recently been brought back under the auspices of the city, and also information technology, which is one of those things that's hidden in a lot of ways, but boy, when it doesn't work, you've got some major problems.
We all are aware of it. I know we recently did an interview with Scott Williams, the director of IT, and we were amazed at where all their hands are within our city.
They are.
And how it touches so many different, not only departments, but customers when they're trying to come in, and whether it's paying their water bill or getting a permit or whatever the case may be, IT's hands are in that as well.
That's right. It's ironic for me that when I was promoted to assistant manager that IT became one of the areas that I was responsible for, because when I was here previously, we had just migrated to a new phone system. It was Meridian, was the new phone system we were using, Meridian Mail. And when I was there, I was actually serving as an intern. And I had gone around and set up voicemails for individuals when we got that new phone system in. When I came back here in 2004,
were they still there?
Some of those messages were still there. And when I picked up the phone and I dialed the number and I heard my voice on the other end. From years ago, it was really scary. But I tell you, we've come a long way since then.
Oh yes.
Technology touches our lives every day.
It does.
Every day, from our phones to our computers to the, making sure payroll and that our permitting system is there. There's quite a bit that we do.
It is. So you oversee 5 different divisions or different departments.
Yes.
You explained which ones they are. Now, you said recently that travel and tourism has been brought back under the wing of the city of Goldsboro. Can you tell us a little more about that?
It has. The occupancy tax legislation was formed several years ago. Actually, it's been in place quite a while. But the actual tourism office, we had one person that manned that office when we originally got it started. And it was always physically located in the chamber, but that person was a city employee. In 2005, as we were transitioning, we had a director that left. She currently now works for the state, still involved in tourism. We had a partnership with the chamber. The office was there. We still wanted to make sure that the chamber was involved in the activities through tourism and economic development and bringing in new businesses. And a lot of our tourism activities are focused on businesses and business travel, in addition to what we have with our venues in Goldsboro. So we have a partnership that worked with the chamber, worked very well for a number of years. But as we did some renovations to the chamber, we created a visitor center that was there. And the city council wanted to make sure that we really had a closer hand in the activities and the functions of the office.
Right.
So at the end of our agreement, which ended last year, we went ahead and brought those staff members back under the direction of the city of Goldsboro. So they are now city staff. We have 2 staff members that were working for the chamber that we have brought under the city as employees, and we continue to keep those folks on board.
So they're still housed over at the chamber, but they work for the city of Goldsboro.
They do. They're housed in the chamber. When you walk into the chamber, there's a visitor center there. So if you just look to the right, that's our new visitor center.
It's very nice.
And our chamber, our tourism director and an administrative staff person are housed there. And one thing about the divisions that I have, all of them have a little bit of a quirk to them, which I think is interesting.
It is.
Either there is some separate funding source, or they have a separate board that's associated with them. For the travel and tourism, a lot of their funding comes through the occupancy tax.
Exactly. And most people, I don't think, are aware of that.
And that is a tax that is collected on room night stays. So when we have visitors that come and stay into our hotels, they pay an occupancy tax, and that primarily funds
travel and tourism
operation. Yeah.
Interesting.
It does, it does.
So you said something about downtown Goldsboro and the DGDC.
Yes.
Can you give us some background on how the city works with the DGDC?
A very similar situation that we had with the Chamber is how we operate with DGDC. DGDC is itself is a nonprofit organization. They have a board of directors, they have a president, they are their own entity. They do their own fundraising, they are sponsors for events. As a matter of fact, the DGDC has purchased a building, and they're in the process of renovating their building right now that will actually house their offices. The partnership that we have with them is that we provide staffing for the DGDC.
Okay.
So all the staff members, the downtown director, the promotions coordinator, and also the administrative staff in the office, which is a staff of 3, they are all city employees.
Okay.
So they all directly
makes
work
sense.
for me as their direct supervisor in the city, but they also have the nonprofit board, and they help them put on their events. The board supports us through fundraising. They bring in over $150,000 a year in in-kind fundraising to support events downtown.
My goodness. And that board is made up of local citizens here in the community that have a love and a care for downtown and the preservation of it.
They do, and they have a varied background. Some are business owners downtown, some are property owners downtown, some are folks that just may live close to the area, or they're just passionate about the work that we're doing downtown, and they are an advocate for us and they're a voice for us. But the DGDC itself existed a long time before they ever had full-time staff on board, so they did quite a bit of work before we had staff in that office. Very much like travel and tourism, the DGDC has a separate funding source. The nonprofit arm, they raise money, they go out and get sponsorships to support events, but they also have a tax for downtown. It's the Municipal Service District tax for downtown, and that covers the central business district. And aside from your normal county and city taxes that a business owner would pay, they also pay a tax for the Municipal Service District, and that goes to support downtown events as well.
Well, speaking of downtown, we are downtown. We're
We
sitting
are
right here at
downtown.
City Hall, so if you hear noises in the background, that's why.
That's progress that you're hearing in the background.
That's progress. We're sitting right here in front of City Hall, so you're hearing action going on in the Streetscape project presently as we speak. Right, Tasha?
Yes, and we're nearing the end of our Streetscape project, but I tell you, in addition to the aesthetic improvements that folks are going to see downtown, our ability to go in now and replace infrastructure in downtown, it's amazing.
It is.
It's really, yes, it's about making, the street look better. It's about improving parking and making it more accessible for individuals that are walking. But there's a lot of things that went on underground that you cannot see that needed to be done.
Well, we were talking with Meg and Julie from DGDC recently about the business owners didn't realize how their water pressure was so mild. They had no idea because that's what they were used to for years.
They'll know now.
And all of a sudden now they're telling us, they came in on that Monday morning, turned the water on, and they were like, oh my goodness, all of a sudden we have this tremendous amount of water pressure and the water's clean.
Exactly.
It looks great. It looks like you can drink it. So they were thrilled. We've heard from several of the change, but they didn't even realize how poor their water pressure was. So I think a lot of the businesses in this area are seeing a major difference because of the infrastructure replacement.
Exactly. And I tell you, we're making steps. These are things that, over a period of time you have to reinvest.
That's right.
You have to reinvest in your community. We've had a board that's been focused on doing that. I think major investments that they've made in downtown are the 2 buildings that we're sitting in between.
That's right.
When I first came on board, the projects that I worked on were new addition to City Hall, which is the new building where inspections and engineering, planning is located, and also the manager's office. And then after we finished the addition, we moved to renovating the historic City Hall, which is a building that's directly behind us, But projects, that's a big part of what I do every day, in addition to keeping up with the 5 areas and those directors and the projects that they manage individually. Whenever there's a special project that's going on in the city and they need someone to kind of get behind that, do some initial fact finding, typically I'll assist with those. City Hall addition, the renovation project were the first 2. We're working on Union Station, which is a project that I've been working on with our downtown development director and also with the Gateway Transportation director. And then we will also talk about the Transfer Center, another project that we have going on. We did some fact finding with the Air Force Museum and the potential for the city to engage in that activity as well. So when it's time for us to start thinking about, you know, what we want to do and where the next projects,
right?
Paramount Theater. Initially, when we began the work for the Paramount Theater, I served on that committee. And also our recreation center. You know, we went through a process of having plans for our recreation center when that one was lost to fire.
So you do a lot of the background research and you coordinate the different companies and you assist them in coming up with the pros and the cons and how much it'll cost, and from top to bottom and start to finish, you're doing a lot of the organizing and the coordinating of these programs, and it seems like it takes a long time.
It does. Some of these projects can take you know, a year or more
of just research
in the research and the planning piece. And you know, to do that background research, that really lets you know, whether or not it's time for us to move forward or when would be the right time for us to move forward. And I really enjoy that. There are so many moving pieces. You know, from that initial thought or the conceptual idea of, let's think about, do we need to do this? Is this the right time, or what is it going to look like? There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes and a lot of players that are sitting at the table.
So I have learned over the past 6 months. It has amazed me at the research and the time and the effort that go into before you even take it to council to say, this is what we have, this is all the information about this particular project, should we move forward, is now the right time. I've learned that.
They have a lot of tough decisions to make. So we want to try to make sure that we give them as much information as we can up front. And you know, the consultants that are sitting at the table on projects, involving the community in the discussions that we have about projects is always critical. Making sure that we're getting ideas. You know, one thing that we realize is that we don't have all the answers. So engaging the public, engaging the community, looking to experts, consultants in that field.
Yes.
You know, that's how we get a lot of the information. And also, our biggest resource a lot of times are other communities that have done similar projects. And I'm really, one thing that makes me proud about being in local government and public service is that we are right here with our citizens. We live in our communities, we go to church, we see them at restaurants. You know, we are
surrounded by it
all the time. So you make sure that you're doing a good job. You want to do your due diligence, and you want to make sure that you're doing a good job because you're here in the community.
You see it and hear it every day.
Yeah.
And your families and your children and your extended family.
Exactly. You're talking about, I was at community service project, so I love being in the community and have recently finished working on a project with the Boys and Girls Club and renovating the teen center, and I'm a member of our Rotary Club here, and we went and delivered dictionaries to the third graders in the public schools, and we touch every school in Wayne County, not just the city of Goldsboro, but every school in Wayne County. But when I was at Eastern Wayne Elementary School, you know, for the kids to say, I've seen you somewhere, or did you work on this project? But our kids are looking at what we're doing, and they're very aware of what's going on in their community. So you got to make sure
they're the future leaders.
You got to make sure that you're doing a good job for our long-term citizens.
That's right.
And for the little ones that are coming up behind us.
They're watching our every move. Now, right?
They are, and they know our names.
Yes, they do. Well, thank you,
do.
Tasha. This has been extremely informative, and I think the general public would agree that just hearing from you and hearing what you do and how passionate you are about your job, it means a lot. And we're proud to know that we have someone like you that is overseeing these projects, and you are gathering the information and taking it to the council so they can make an informed decision.
Well, you know, I love what I do. I'm in Goldsboro because I want to be.
Exactly.
And I tell you, that really makes a difference. And I believe we really have a great group of citizens here that are passionate about our community, and it's really just a pleasure and an honor to be able to serve.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. We appreciate your time.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, we hope you learned a little more today about the city of Goldsboro and what's happening in our city. We'll talk with you again soon, and this is WGTV Today.
And we're back on WGTV today. It is a Wednesday. It's the 24th. You had a birthday yesterday.
I did.
Happy birthday.
I feel a day older.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, my. I don't know how to tell you this, but no, never mind.
It gets worse and worse, huh?
No, I'm just teasing. Anyway, happy birthday to you.
Thank you
Did
very
you have
much.
a good
I did.
birthday?
I had a great birthday, and tomorrow's my daughter's birthday. So
is that right?
Our whole month of October is 3 out of the 4 of us.
Okay. When's Michael's birthday?
His was the 8th.
Oh, okay.
So the 8th, and then mine,
Yeah.
and then Haley's 2 days later, and my mom was actually 2 days before mine. So, oh yeah,
Well,
October is just a birthday month for us.
What about the son?
He's February, so he's the one who he gets to celebrate by himself.
Oh.
He don't have to share with the rest of us.
How about
And he
that?
likes it that way.
Oh, okay. Plus, that's a short month anyway. You know, it's a
Yes,
special
it is.
month.
It's a
February
special
is.
month.
How many months have 28 days?
1.
All of them.
Oh, plus. Good joke, Wayne. Good joke, Wayne.
Thank you. Okay, it's an old one. Anyway, I knew I'd get you on that.
Yeah, you got me.
Sorry, that was bad.
Well, you know what? Wayne and I are doing something a little bit different with the show. We are spotlighting different things that are happening in our community. You never know where we may show up to showcase what you may be doing. Recently, we stopped at Herman Park Center and we talked with folks that were there at the farmers market.
Man, I tell you,
wasn't that neat?
I loved it. We had a ball.
We did. We had a really good time. We talked with people with the produce peddlers. We talked with a lot of local farmers that were there at the farmers market that showcased all of the different local produce that they were growing in their community. And the overall message from them, support your local farmers.
Yeah.
Keep the money, keep the funds local. Help your farmers help themselves.
That's right, and it just doesn't get any better than fresh veggies grown right here in Wayne County. And they were fresh.
Weren't they? And they surprised me and said they were going to actually stay through the month of November till Thanksgiving. We thought they were going to stop the end of October. They're staying another month.
Isn't that great? So every Wednesday.
That's right.
And they start at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
They start early in the morning. It's like 8.
And they are 8 or 9, and they're there until 4 o'clock.
That's right. That's right. Right there in the parking lot at Herman Park, over by the tennis courts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, over by the tennis courts. That's right.
That's right.
Okay, today is October 24th. If you were a Boy Scout, and a lot of guys were, the very first Boy Scout troop was originated in England by Lord Baden-Powell, of course, this day in 1908. And, of course, they came to the U.S. About a year and a half later and was actually organized in the U.S. in February of 2010. But in 2008, the very first one was organized in England, 1908. Also on this day, one of my favorites, in 1922, a fellow by the name of Christian Nelson.
What did he do?
Christian Nelson received a patent for the Eskimo pie. Woohoo!
The Eskimo pie.
I love Eskimo pies. Also on this day, 1952, it was a sad day for some, a happy day for others. The National Football League, New York Yankees. The National Football League, New York Yankees, moved to Texas, and New York was happy about that. But anyway, because they were so bad, they moved to Texas and became the Dallas Texans to become history's worst pro football team.
Oh my goodness!
They were actually run out of Dallas after only playing 4 games. It ended. You're out of here. Go home. They couldn't go back to New York. They didn't want them either. They had to play 8 games on the road, and they finished the season 1-11. They actually won a game.
Wow.
They actually won a game. Also this day in the year 2004, a mere carry the 1 divided by and the square root of 8 years ago, a hiking magazine. Now if you're a hiker, you can relate to this. Are you a hiker?
Nope.
Nor I. A hiking magazine apologized after it published a route plan that would have set hikers walking into thin air off the north face of a large Scottish mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Ben Nevis was the name of the mountain. Anyone following the magazine's directions would have fallen down a sheer cliff into the nearby Gardyloo Gully. Gardyloo Gully.
They made a little mistake.
That's indeed the truth, yeah. But no one did that, and the magazine apologized for that. So you gotta watch it. Having birthdays today.
Ooh,
guess who?
Who?
Aaron Neville.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's 71 years today. Wow. He and Neil Diamond were born the same day.
Really?
Both are 71 years of age. Exactly 71. I love, in fact, those two guys are fantastic.
They're both great, aren't they?
Oh, my goodness. Been a Neil Diamond fan for many a year. And also, another one of my favorite guys is Ray Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Ray Stevens, funny man, extremely talented.
Oh, absolutely.
In fact,
his birthday's today as well?
His birthday is today. He is 73 years today. What a talent he is. And in fact, we kind of had a connection. We have a connection. The guy that played lead guitarist for the fellow that did Elvis here a few months back. You remember the United Way campaign for at the Paramount, and there was an Elvis guy that was here. The lead guitarist, a friend of mine, Chuck Martin, played in is a friend of Ray Stevens, and he can be heard playing guitar. Of course, I'm not sure he's even credited playing guitar on a lot of Ray Stevens
albums?
music.
Really?
Yeah, albums of later years. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
How about that? So we kind of have a connection to Ray Stevens here. Well, we do. Well,
we like to believe we do.
We like to think we do anyway. So anyway, happy birthday, Big Ray. 73 today he is.
Oh my goodness.
Mine too.
Well, on WGTV, which is Wayne Goldsboro Television, Channel 10.
That's who we are.
And AT&T users is Channel 99.
99.
We have a schedule that you can find at any time on the WayneGov.com website, which is, of course, the County of Wayne's website. If you'd like to know when you can watch certain programs other than just this program, there are other things going on, and you can go to the website and find it over on the left side. It says WGTV schedule. But one of the things I wanted to showcase is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if you are interested in hearing more about the Streetscape project and hearing our update that we do bi-weekly, you can listen to that at 9:45 in the morning. The Streetscape update will be run at that time, and if you're interested in hearing the full interview with all the vendors from Taste of Wayne recently, that will be at 4:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of this week.
Okay.
On Tuesday and Thursday, the schedule's a little bit different. Like you can see the County Commissioners meeting at 2 p.m. that afternoon. No? 2 a.m. Oh my goodness. 2 a.m.
2
on Tuesday and Thursday. Wow, 2 a.m.
Well, some of us are up at 2.
Well, I guess so. If you want to see the seniors exercise, 8 a.m. That'll be running on Tuesday and Thursday. Right. Let's see. The Northern Wayne Plantation Tour will be at 2 in the afternoon. Northern Wayne Plantation Tour can be seen at 2 p.m. on Channel 10, as well as, of course, AT&T users, Channel 99.
That is great.
But if you want to see the schedule, it's right there on not WGTV, WayneGov.com website.
WayneGov.com.
It's always there.
And it's on the, you go to the left and go down to the bottom of the menu there, and you'll see the WGTV schedule.
That's right.
Well, there's a couple of guys that have put together a haunted house here in Goldsboro.
That's exciting.
At the corner of Mulberry and John Street, you'll find a historical house there. It's a beautiful old home. It's been refurbished.
Back behind City Hall, white picket fence.
Exactly. It's got that white picket fence. You've seen it. And it's behind City Hall at the corner of John and Mulberry. And it is a beautiful old home. And these guys, John Tart and Jeremy Price, they are Two Brothers Entertainment. Those guys have gotten together and made this into a haunted house. And you can go and have fun and be scared. Whoa!
Yes, you can.
Wow!
Just for the month of October.
Just for October. And it'll end. It's going to end this month. But it starts at 8 p.m. each night now until the end of the month.
Is it every night?
I believe it's every night. It says now until November 3rd. I'm sorry, every Thursday through
Friday
Saturday.
And Saturday. Okay. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights only. Okay. Starts at 8 p.m. and goes until midnight. Boo.
That's right. But guess what? The proceeds go for something very special. What is that,
Very special.
Wayne?
The proceeds, $10 for adults, and children under 10 years of age get in for $3, $3. And the proceeds, net proceeds, will go to the Wounded Warrior Project. Now, that's a project, an initiative that aims to provide support to injured members of the armed forces. The Wounded Warrior Project, you've heard about it. And now here's your chance to be a part of it by attending this haunted house and having the bejeebers scared out of you.
Have fun, but also do something good.
Indeed. $10 for adults, $3 for children 10 years and under. And there's a $2 discount if you have a student ID
or a military
ID. And there you go. And it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights at the corner of Mulberry and John Streets, downtown Goldsboro.
That's nice. That's
nice.
that's
good. Way to go, guys.
That's right. Well, who's coming up next on the show, Wayne?
Well, coming up next on the program, we're going to be hearing from Bryan Taylor. I talked to Bryan a few days ago about his position as fire marshal for Wayne County. He is a part of the Office of Emergency Services here in Wayne County, and as fire marshal, it's his duty to see that people are protected here in Wayne County and that they understand how to protect themselves against fire. This is Fire Prevention Month, October is. So let's hear now from Bryan Taylor as he tells us about being fire marshal for Wayne County. Today we're talking with Bryan Taylor. Bryan is the fire marshal for the County of Wayne. I appreciate you being here. I hope you're well.
Thank you.
Bryan, October is Fire Prevention Month, Fire Safety Awareness Month, Fire this, that, and the other month. A little bit of everything here. The whole idea is to be safe and be aware of fire dangers in the home.
That's correct.
All right. So where do we stand? What kind of job are we doing here in Wayne County as far as fire safety?
Well, over the course of the whole month, this week, October 7th through 12th, is actually National Fire Prevention Week.
Okay.
And fire departments generally begin the week before and the week of, and the entire month of going out to schools and daycares and other places that request them to do so to give fire prevention talks, and then to show especially the smaller kids things that they can do in case they're involved in a fire at home.
What's some of the misconceptions we have about fire in the home? Do people, and I know there's a tremendous amount of information out there about being safe in the home, where most fires begin in the kitchen, and people don't change their fire alarm batteries when they're supposed to.
That's right.
Where do we go there? I mean, how do you convince people to understand? How do you tell them to understand what's going on in their own home?
That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Is getting folks at home to take it seriously. Normally, when it happens to them, or they know somebody it's happened to, they take it a little more serious. But that is a big challenge, and as far as fire prevention in the home, cooking is the #1 cause of home fires in the U.S. Not only in the U.S., right here in Wayne County also. And that's a big challenge, is to get people to keep in mind when they're cooking, stay with it, don't leave it, don't go to the grocery store while you're cooking.
I know. How many times have you ever heard someone say, well, I only stepped away for a moment?
Yeah.
And the next thing they know, their kitchen's on fire.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
It doesn't take but a moment.
It doesn't take but just a few minutes. And we hear a lot, and some of the fire chiefs around will tell you the same thing, that some of the comments they say is, well, we didn't have the stove on. Well, and you can legitimately prove that they did. Not that it's going to get them in trouble. A lot of times people think because something happened in their home, if it shows them they're going to be held liable, they're going to go to jail or something of that nature, and that's not the case.
What is the case is that you immediately want to help the family recover from a disaster of this type. And of course, if there's someone injured in the fire, or even worse, that of course will bring a whole new set of conditions to the situation.
It does. And
the idea is to help people.
It's to help people and to make sure that they're taken care of once the fire department's left, and the Red Cross helps us a lot with that. Right. You brought up the fact about smoke detectors. You'd be surprised at the folks here in Wayne County that will take the batteries out of their smoke detectors because they're tired of hearing them go off when they're cooking, or when steam, when they're near a bathroom and the steam sets them off, and that kind of thing, which is one of the most dangerous things they can do. The facts are out there that having a working smoke alarm increases your chances by 50% of getting out of the home alive. Most cases, fire deaths happen, it's when there's no smoke alarm present, most of the time.
Now, the suggestion is to change your smoke alarm at the beginning of the year when we go to daylight saving time, and near the end of the year when we end daylight saving time. So that's coming up the first week of November, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah, change your batteries twice a year, and that's always been a good time to do it. Is when you set your clocks, change your smoke detector battery. Smoke detectors also should be the actual detector should be replaced every 10 years.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
The lifespan of a smoke detector is determined to be 10 years, and after 10 years you should get rid of that smoke detector and replace the smoke detector completely.
Wow.
In some cases, you have some detectors that go bad before that and have to be replaced, but every 10 years your smoke detector should be replaced every 10 years. Now,
because of technology that's available nowadays, these smoke detectors are very inexpensive.
Yeah,
but now, even if they weren't, don't get me wrong, even if they weren't inexpensive, I mean, what's a life worth?
With the codes nowadays in homes, they have to be electric smoke detectors with a battery backup now. And if one goes off, they all go off throughout the whole house. So if you have a 2-story or 3-story house, if you got one downstairs and it goes off, every floor goes off at the same time. But there again, it's important to make sure once a year those batteries and those are changed once a year to keep you a good battery, so in cases of storms or whatever and you lose power, that you still got that protection. Also, you know, there's some new smoke detectors on the market today that you don't have to change the battery in anymore.
Oh, really?
The battery's good for the life of the smoke detector, and so they're on the market, and they're very good smoke detectors also, and come from a very reputable company. So,
okay.
There's some of those out there.
Okay. There's also, again, there's some very inexpensive smoke detectors you can pick up for anywhere. What, $5 or $10 bucks?
$5, $10.
And you can't have enough of them. Put one everywhere, and make sure the batteries are fresh.
Yeah, that's the simplest thing. Is make sure you got good batteries.
And smoke detectors save lives. So when a smoke detector or smoke alarm goes off in your home, what do you do?
Well, that kind of goes around to this month's fire prevention month, you know, and the theme of it is to have 2 ways out. 2 ways out. And basically what they're saying is, you know, we start at an early age. I did when I was in school, and I know everybody else did too. When you go to school, you have a fire drill every month.
Yep.
And the reason for that is so everybody gets in practice, so if it happens, you know what to do, there's no questions, you know where you're going, and that kind of thing. And you need to do the same thing at home. Is to have that plan, practice that plan once a month, but have 2 ways out. If your normal way out is down the hallway and out the front door, you need to have if you can't get down the hallway, how are you going to get out? Is it going to go through a window or whatever? And you need to practice doing that so you're used to doing that too, because generally when you have to escape a home fire, it's going to be in the middle of the night or during times, you know, when you're really not expecting.
Yeah, you can't plan these things.
You can't.
I happened to see in fact, in reference to this 2 ways out, I saw a story being broadcast a couple of days ago about that, and there was a ladder used to escape from a 2nd-story house. And when they put the ladder out the window, the ladder dropped down in front of a garage door or in front of a large door. And it seems to me that if you drop the ladder down in front of that door, ever who gets down to that point, there's no support against the house of that ladder, and that could create a problem for somebody trying to get out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it could.
So you should really practice how to get out of the home in time of emergency.
That's right. That's a very important part of the fire prevention week this year.
Yeah, so the family should get together and talk about, if there is an emergency, have a predetermined location to meet.
That's correct.
Have a practice session, practice getting out of the house 2 different ways. In case you can't get out one, get out the other.
That's right.
And if they have any questions, they call you.
Be glad to answer any questions.
All right. And you give us the website as well, waynegov.com, and you're under?
It's under Office of Emergency Services.
Okay.
And, you know, of course, our links under there is Fire Marshal. You can also go to the National Fire Protection Association, and they got all kinds of materials, all kinds of handouts. There's a lot of stuff there that you can print off. It's free, and you can distribute that to not only your family but neighbors and that kind of thing.
And where is that again?
The National Fire Protection Association.
National Fire Protection Association. And they have free information available. Just print it off.
That's correct.
All right. Brian, thank you so much for being
you.
with us. I thank you, sir. I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV. And we're back on WGTV today. This is a Wednesday. It's the 24th, the middle of the week already, and we're closing in on the end of October. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It has flown by.
Flown.
But so many activities that we can do here in Goldsboro for the month of October.
Yeah, so many activities. And I'll tell you what, it's fun talking about them. And I've got to tell you about something else right now, too, something that's very, very important. It's called the Works Initiative. We're going to go ahead, we're going to bring this program up right now, and I want you to pay close attention to this because this is such an important program and so worthwhile.
It absolutely is.
The Works Initiative at Wayne Community College, up next on WGTV Today. WGTV today. We're talking with Jena Cantwell, and Jena's office is at Wayne Community College. And you are with SkillSoft.
The soft skills.
Soft skills.
Soft skills.
Okay, I was close.
Yeah, it's the non-technical employability skills.
Okay.
It's a class that we offer through the Wayne Business and Industry Center through Works.
Okay, oh, through Works.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Gee whiz, where do I start? Wayne Community College, Works, Soft Skills. You're Director of Training and Development, I believe, at Soft Skills. Well, first of all, tell me about soft skills.
Okay.
Okay.
Soft skills are the non-technical employability skills that employees need to be successful in the workplace. You get the technical skills through classes that you take and through job experience. But the non-technical skills are things that are like teamwork, effective communication, dealing with difficult people. And so what we've done through Works and the Wayne Business and Industry Center is we have developed a 30-hour class from scratch that addresses these skills. And how we came up with the curriculum was based off of a questionnaire that we sent out to the HR Association. So it's based off of what Wayne County employers need and want in employees.
Give me an example of something that would fall under that.
Well, in the class that I've developed, there are 140 different things that we go over.
Oh, okay. Let's narrow it down.
Yeah. It ranges anywhere from interview skills, resumes, applications, what to wear, what not to wear, how you communicate, how you deal with things prior to getting the job, and when you get the job. Sometimes people, once they get the job, they don't know how to be on time.
Right.
Or they don't know how to deal with somebody that is causing drama or causing issues in the workplace. So we go over how to effectively deal with those situations and come out in a positive light.
And there's over 140 of these. My goodness.
Yeah, effective listening, hearing the message, not writing your resume in text speak, not writing emails like you're sending a text message, those types of things.
So, and this all falls under the umbrella of Works, is
Yes,
that right?
it sure does.
All right, well, tell me about Works, for those who may not know about Works.
Works is wonderful. It works with, of course, Wayne County and the Wayne County Development Alliance. And we do a range of things, but the major contributor that we have is we want to get people back to work. So we do the Career Readiness Certificate, and in that soft skills class, we also do that CRC testing, and we get that completed for people. Right now, we have Wayne County is #1 in the state of North Carolina for CRC certificates that we have that our residents of Wayne County have received, and we're over 10,000 now. So about 20% of the Wayne County population now has their CRC.
So we're doing pretty well as far as
We're doing awesome.
that is. Well, that's because Wayne Community College, Diane Ivey,
Diane Ivey,
you,
definitely.
yeah, wow.
Because we're big supporters of it. I have my CRC. I kind of looked at Diane cross-eyed when she told me, Jena, you have to take your CRC, and I now understand why. Because I can have all the degrees and all the, education in the world. However, I may not be able to look at a chart or a graph and figure out how to read a map. And that's what the CRC is for, is to look at your math skills, your reading skills, and your locating information skills. And it is a great determiner of people's ability to work effectively in the workplace.
And I know that there has been a tremendous amount of success with the program. When did Works first get underway, or the CRCs get underway?
Ooh, I want to say, I believe 2007.
Yeah.
I believe
About 5 years
2007,
now.
about 5 years. And we have a great relationship with Wayne County Public Schools because we do the CRC testing for the juniors there, and anybody that misses it, we do it for the seniors. And then we have a good relationship within the college where we test in applied technology and our business department. So everybody is very supportive on campus.
I'm going to put you on the spot here and ask you, without giving names, one or maybe even 2 success stories that come to mind.
Oh, I have a couple.
Have you really? Well,
Oh,
tell me about one
absolutely.
of them.
In regards to my soft skills class in the CRC, I had a young lady, and she is phenomenal, but she was there to take the CRC and was on the wait list, and we had to reschedule her test. So I said, come with me, I'll reschedule you. And she came and I talked her into taking my soft skills class. And so she came in, and the first day you could tell that she just was kind of just there. But by the end of the week, I had said, you know, you are a lovely young lady with all the potential in the world. She wasn't dressing for success. She wasn't wearing makeup. Her hair was inappropriate. And the next day when she came in for her interview, she was dressed to the nines, had a new hairstyle, makeup on, and now every time I see her, she looks gorgeous, and she is actually working at Franklin Baking now.
Really?
She got a job, not with Franklin, but another employer. She got a job within 3 weeks after my class. And then her hours got cut there, and so she interviewed at Franklin, got on, and loves it.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yes, it is fabulous.
And that's only one of dozens of success stories.
Right.
Just one. People have to want to work.
Right.
They have to want to work. And if they want to go to work, they're going to listen to what you have to tell them.
Right.
The soft skills particularly.
Right. Because my class is set up like a business. You have to, I have a program that you clock in and out. If you're late 3 times, you're no longer in my class. Essentially, you're fired. And so we lay down the laws. They have to sign a dress code agreement. They have to dress with a particular dress code. They have to agree to the 10 areas that I'm going to evaluate them on. And then at the end of the class, they get a certificate, hopefully their CRC if they test for it and successfully get it. And then they also get like an employee evaluation where I coach them on the 10 areas where they need to improve. But I also try to call after 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days to see how they're doing, to see if they have any questions.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is just great. So my question to you, before we get to what we wanted to talk about today, my question to you is, there's so much information available here. What does it cost someone who attends these soft skill classes?
Free.
What?
It's nothing.
It's free?
Free.
Did you say free?
If you're unemployed.
If you're unemployed.
A resident of Wayne County.
Live in the county.
It is free of charge.
That means it doesn't cost anything.
It does not cost a dime.
That means all you have to do is show up, register, and agree to the conditions.
Exactly.
And it's free.
And it's free.
How many people are involved? Do you have currently?
It's hit and miss. We've formed a good relationship with DSS, and so they send quite a few participants. And however, I think a lot of people don't realize that they need these skills or are lacking these skills. But the capstone to this class is on the Fridays. You get to have a practice interview with local employers. We've had people from Franklin Baking, Mount Olive Pickle, AAR, they come and do practice interviews. And I've actually had a couple people get jobs off of those practice interviews.
So if you live in the county, you're unemployed, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. So when would you start? When does it start? Is this
It's monthly.
Monthly?
It's a monthly class that runs typically, I try to run it the last week of the month or the third week of the month. And it's on our website, wayneworksnc.com. And you can see the scheduled times and when we are going to have the next classes. So, and I have a mandatory orientation the Thursday prior. But give me a call, and I love to talk about it, obviously. Because I'm proud of the product, because it's not canned. It's something that we've developed specifically for Wayne County.
All right. How is this funded? Who pays for this? Somebody has to pay for it.
Oh, well, it's through Works. It's through the Works Initiative and the support of Dr. Albertson, Diane, and Wayne Community College. So, and sometimes we can run it through continuing education for FTE credit, but I have to have 10 participants, and I would love to have 18 every time.
I would think there would be a line of people wanting to take advantage of this.
We would think so, but sometimes when people don't have to invest in it, They don't find the value in it. And there is certainly a value, because my goal is to get people jobs. I take away the excuses when they say, well, I can't get a job because of, so I find the resources available for them and give it to them when they come back the next day. So I do research on my end to help them become successful, because I have a close relationship with my students. So.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's fantastic. So you have the dynamic duo. That would be Dr. Kay Albertson and Diane Ivey.
Absolutely.
And they are tough.
They are, and they're fabulous.
Yeah.
I have learned so much from those two ladies. I moved here from Kansas 19 months ago, and I know more about Wayne County than I ever knew about Sedgwick County, where I lived for 36 years. But I have a lot more passion for Wayne County, because the residents here have welcomed us, and I just really enjoy living in Goldsboro.
Well, how nice.
Yeah.
That's what, and let's get to what you wanted to talk about today very quickly here. Introduction to Manufacturing. Tell me about that. What is that?
It is a 2-week class that evaluates not only the non-technical employability skills, the soft skills, but also it gives an introduction to manufacturing processes. We go over math in manufacturing, computers in manufacturing, safety. You will learn about torque certification and the basic hand tools certification, but also with that you get to test for those certifications. So you get to do the testing for that, and then you will get you'll test for your CRC, also get your soft skills certificate and your certificate for the introduction to manufacturing.
And you're going to get all this within 2 weeks?
All this within 2 weeks,
wow.
Yes.
Well,
it's a 72-hour class.
So when do you sign up for this?
You can sign up anytime between now and October 29th is when the class starts.
And who would qualify for this?
Anybody can come to the class. There is a charge for this. However, if you are unemployed and you fit certain criteria, scholarships are available for you. So it, again, has the potential to be free.
So how would someone find out more about all this? This sounds like a great opportunity. Introduction to Manufacturing.
Right.
How do they find out about it?
They can contact me. They can either do it via my email, which is jmcantwell@waynecc.edu, or they can contact me via telephone, and telephone number is 919-739-7011. 919-739-7011 for Jenna Cantwell, who is the Training and Development Director of Soft Skills at Wayne Community College, and the Works program. Right.
All right. That's great information.
Yeah.
I'm so
We're
glad.
excited about this.
I
mean,
know.
it is a fabulous product. We are thrilled to be doing it.
Jenna, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for your time.
I'm Wayne Alley for WGTV. Fascinating. That was great.
Wasn't it good?
Yeah, the Works program at Wayne Community College. Hey, we're almost out of time here, and want to mention to you again, today is Wednesday the 24th, and you had something going on about this weekend, right?
Yes, I wanted to give an update. You know how we've spoken several times about the Halloween 5K that was going to take place at Stony Creek.
Right.
We've recently found out that has been canceled.
Oh.
So they're not having it this weekend. There were so many things happening on that particular weekend. And, excuse me, the Hillbilly Hike happened not long ago, and now they're having a second Hillbilly Hike.
Oh, yeah.
That is going to be in May. So they decided, since there were so many things going on, that they were going to cancel that. They'll probably have it later, 5K, but they're not going to have that on the Saturday, October 27th.
So the Halloween
5K that was going to be at Stony Creek Park is no longer. That has been canceled. So we'll just remind you what all is happening this weekend. North Carolina High School Conference, one-act plays, Paramount Theater, all day long is going on. The Really Chili Challenge from 11 to 2, $5 to taste at Cornerstone Commons. That'll be going on also this weekend.
All right, now we want to mention that's $5 just to get in, and then once you're in, oh boy, you just have at it.
That's right.
Taste and taste and taste.
All kinds of chili. Then finish your day up with Jazz on George. That starts at 1, it goes till 7. It's a free jazz concert on George Street. Full day, lots of activities.
That is still a big day.
Isn't it?
I'll tell you what, that's great. Hey, get out and do something. Enjoy it. The weather is going to be great. There's a lot to do here in Wayne County, Goldsboro, the city of Goldsboro and Wayne County. There is always a lot to do. No matter what, you might hear somebody say, there's nothing to do around here. That's not
Whew,
true.
there's tons.
There's tons to do around here. You got to look for it.
And we're going to tell you about it.
Okay, so you can't catch a rocket to Mars from here, but we can tell you how to get there. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock here on WGTV, 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. every morning. And if you happen to miss the program, we run, as Kim mentioned earlier, we run throughout the day. So check out our listing on go to waynegov.com, WGTV schedules on the left-hand side of the page.
That's right.
Till 7 o'clock in the morning, every morning, Monday through Friday. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and that's what's happening in your community.